Welcome back to the Conspiracy Zone. Elvis Presley was undercover narc, the B-side of the king of rock and roll. That's what we're talking about. John, what was Elvis's involvement with the FBI? I mean,
well, actually, he was an agent for the DEA.
Who hired him for the DEA?
He was hired, actually, originally by President Nixon.
Okay, that's the picture we always see with him.
That was the picture, but towards the end of Elvis's, I guess, career or his life, supposedly, there was an operation that was known as Operation Fountain Pen. This is an incredible an operation because it involved the emergence of a new criminal organization that was called the Fraternity. And this was a collection of about 40 of the top-ranking racketeers, drug smugglers, gun smugglers, and mafiosos in the world. This was an emergence of an entire new crime organization. This organization was trying to bilk very rich individuals out of their money, use that money to buy drugs, weapons, guns in the Middle East. The day of the indictment, when they're going to hand it up by a federal grand jury, the next day Elvis Presley is dead. Whether you believe he's alive or not, that was the day that he supposedly died. Elvis Presley was working as a special agent. He was not protected by our government. He was allowed to be hit in his own home by the mafia. So what do you do if you're the government? What do you tell the people that we allowed your icon to die?
You increased security at Graceland, for one thing.
Well, it was too late. I mean, there was already...
Well, but
how much security can you have in the bathroom?
People broke into Graceland. They stole some items that were in Lisa Marie Presley's room. They sent them back to Elvis.
What did he actually die, though, in the bathroom? Did they, like, push him off the toilet?
He was murdered. He was shot. And this is where it comes to a lot of the questions about what happened when he was buried, why his face looked like it was waxed over, why it looked like he was wearing a wig. When mafia informants are killed, they're shot in the eyes, they're shot in the mouth. This is a sign that you send to other informants. So what do? You cover this up. The government had to cover it up because they allowed an American icon to be killed in their own home. The new president, Jimmy Carter, was not aligned with what Nixon had done, bringing in this agent. The cover-up came not in the fact that he was an agent, but that we screwed up as the United States government.
I agree with you that the mafia was involved, but I think that he was put into the Federal Witness Protection Program. What I don't understand is
that's crazy, though. That's nuts.
He was about 250 pounds,
yeah.
right before he supposedly had died.
That's
and the autopsy,
you're saying that he's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Now you're saying the mafia bumped him off.
Yeah, you got to end it there.
The man that they did the autopsy on weighed 170 pounds. That's a lot of water.
Here's what I say, Kevin. Antibacterial soap. That will give you more security in the bathroom. This is an answer to your other question about security in the bathroom.
I'm sorry, you're saying he was 170 pounds, James, when he died?
Well, the autopsy report said that the man that they were doing the autopsy on was 170 pounds.
Elvis Presley did a television special. It was June 21st.
Well, the belt alone weighs about 40 pounds.
June 21st, he did a television special. He looked incredibly heavy.
Pounds.
5 days later, June 26th, he did a concert appearance. He looked incredibly light.
TV adds 10 pounds to you.
TV adds 10 pounds. Also, you know what adds 10 pounds?
The belt and
the
TV,
camera.
that's 50 pounds.
When you wear body armor, if someone who's in fear for their life is going to go out and do a television special, I'm Elvis Presley, I'm going to wear body armor. It's going to make me look heavier. The fact of the matter is, when he died, or supposedly died, of course he's going to look lighter. He's not going to have any body armor on.
James, what you're saying, though, is that he is still alive.
Yeah, see, I went to Graceland.
He wore the body armor on the toilet.
Who was in the coffin?
What had happened?
We didn't see the whole coffin, by the way. They shot it from the waist up.
Well, there was a man that had met Elvis, and he was terminally ill. And Elvis was a great guy, and he did a lot of charities for a lot of people. And this terminally ill man asked Elvis if he could help him. And Elvis said, well, yeah, I'll help you. If you can go ahead and once you die, you can go ahead and be put in my coffin. You're going to be my cover-up body, and I'll take care of your family.
And you believe in that?
Look.
Now, Kevin, is this not true? I asked you that same question a week and a half ago if you would be in my coffin, right?
And you said, I've been to Graceland.
I was ready to go in his coffin.
And you were ready. You said,
until I'm hearing this. I don't like the way it sounds.
Well, now, of course, it doesn't sound as
Do you think I could pass
for
for
James. James is a good guy. But he's nuts, and that's the kind of that's what you have to look at here. I do like you.
So
you're a
he's
nice
nuts
guy
because he thinks Elvis is alive,
You've got
and
to
you're
draw
not
the
nuts
line
because you think the
somewhere.
mafia
Here's my
knocked him off.
thing.
I'm nuts just for being here.
You're just nuts for being here.
There's evidence supporting the fact that Elvis Presley could be murdered. I would love to find out the truth. I'd love to have the body exhumed. I'd love to look for major...
What is the evidence? What is the evidence?
To exhume a body.
DNA evidence. If he had
What, you
died
write to somebody that said Elvis's pancreas?
No,
I mean, come on, that's absolutely insane.
Let's exhume the body right now. Let's spend the third segment of this show exhuming the body. That's great TV.
What do you need to be convinced, Harry? I mean, you've got all the evidence
here. Well, see,
here.
I've been to Graceland, and I'll tell you right now that he definitely weighed a lot when he died, because you can tell But
a lot is a general
his
number.
army uniform fit on that mannequin just perfect. And by the time you get to his last concert, there's a whole lot of safety pins keeping that together.
I put on weight since I was in the Army, and I was never in the Army.
But you're wearing body armor. You're wearing body armor.
If you die right now, you're not going to be 110 pounds.
How much weight did the mannequin gain?
I would like to lose a little. I'd like to look good when I go, you know.
Again,
How do you know the mannequin wasn't in the coffin? With the army suit.
hey, was
he in the army
There's
suit?
another wax body theory.
All right, we got to take a short break, John. When we come back, we'll have a first-person testimony that the king is stone cold dead. Can I get a witness? Anybody? We'll be right back. We're back in the zone discussing Elvis Presley. Is the king dead? And if he's not, let's get him out of that coffin pronto. You know what I'm talking about? We have a material witness who says he knows for sure he's a former junior member of Elvis's Memphis Mafia, a consultant on an upcoming 16-hour Elvis documentary, The Definitive Elvis, and he has also attended Elvis's funeral. Please welcome Don Wilson. So, Don, was Elvis dead at his funeral? You were there, right?
I was there. He was definitely gone, unfortunately.
Yeah. And what did he look like?
He looked as if he did back in the 50s, and I'll tell you why, Kevin.
So he was thin?
Yeah, because when they did the autopsy, you know, a lot of his water that he had retained was gone.
Right.
He retained a lot of water.
So what about the peanut butter and banana sandwiches?
He had finished all of those. Mary Jenkins told me that.
Those dissolved.
Yeah.
So you were good friends with him. You hung out with him. You hung out with all those guys, Sonny and Red and Joe Esposito.
Sonny, Red, Joe, yeah.
That's right.
They're all my buddies.
How often did you see Elvis?
I saw him usually when he was off tours, like, you know, June or July, somewhere around there. He liked to hang around and stuff. And I went on, you know, a couple of his short tours.
Did you hang out at Graceland with him?
I got to be around Graceland with him at certain times, you know. You know, he was a great guy. I mean, he was Elvis, of course, but he just wanted to be treated like a regular person.
And pretty generous?
Very generous to me in a lot of ways.
Well, in what way was he generous to you?
Well, my dad had met him back in the 50s.
Yeah.
You know, when he did one of his first shows. My uncle booked him at one of those. And years later, I met him at the Astrodome, and I walked up to him, and I said, "Hello, Mr. Presley," and he said, "No, that's my daddy over there. Call me Elvis."
Wow.
But a year later, my parents and my sister got killed, and they were hit by a train, and Elvis found out about it. And he sent a condolence card, and he kind of kept me around to cheer me up.
Right, right. That's nice of him. And did you notice anything suspicious about him, like being involved with, like, mafia, or the mafia being after him, or ties with the government?
Only the Memphis Mafia. You know.
That was it, huh?
That was it. Elvis just wanted badges. I think he's pretty much started in 1970 when he came to the Dome. He got a Houston police badge. And once you start collecting badges, if you're an Elvis, you wanted to get the primo #1 badge.
Yeah, that's right. And what was that?
He wanted his NARC badge.
Yeah. Well, you sound a little bit like Elvis.
I think when you're around anybody a long period of time, you just pick it up.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah. That's why I don't hang around Harry too long. I try to stay away, just a little.
You might pick it up.
You sound like Jack Benny a lot lately.
Now, Don.
Yeah.
Well,
yes, Jack.
John, if the mafia shot Elvis, how come Don didn't see any bullet holes in him?
Well, Kevin, look, I
When the mafia shoots somebody, they take out the eyes, right?
Yeah, I like Don, but he's clearly nuts. I mean, we gotta start
Okay, so
there.
James is nuts, and Don is nuts, and Harry is...
Well, Harry's no, but he gets paid to be nuts, so it's okay. I mean, he's getting made it through.
Not so dumb, huh?
I like you too, pal, but I got to say something. You never met Elvis, pal, and you weren't there, so you don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Well,
it's true. It's true.
Listen, first of all, wait a second, Don. I think you know, and I think everybody in the audience knows, Elvis is a god in the African-American community. I think that he is our patron saint. And if there's anybody that we follow as a people, it's always been Elvis Presley.
Well, I never knew that.
Yeah, a lot of people, you know,
So
we
it's
like
Elvis, then Martin Luther King.
a lot of people like to kill our leaders, so we like to keep it quiet.
Right, right.
Yeah. Look, here's the thing. No, I never met Elvis Presley. I never had the good fortune to meet Elvis
But
Presley.
Don hung out with Elvis. He knew him personally. Don't you think he would know if he was alive?
I want you to just explain to me how much water weight can you really honestly lose in one day? 40, 50 pounds, that's a lot of water, man.
During an autopsy, I think you can lose quite a bit, especially if they take your organs out.
It depends. If it's the heavy water, you could lose a lot.
Exactly, yeah. Soft water, heavy water,
Not so much.
His colon was, obstructed. You know, he had a big colon. You know, I talked to Dr. Nicopolis not too long ago about it, and he told me
He's a good doctor, by the way.
Yeah, he was, yeah.
I understand he's going to get a license one day.
Takes care of you, doesn't he?
Yeah. Yeah.
Look, but Don, explain this to me, though. What about all these actual open court documents and FBI
I've
documents?
seen all of the documents. I saw the Presley report and everything. It's a bunch of crap. Excuse me. But, you know, a lot of people...
Don't ever use that language here again. That whole crap thing. All right. They're telling me it's now or never for a break, so stay with us. We'll be right back. With some more crap.
George Bush Sr. was behind the assassination of John Lennon.
We'll ask the Doors' Ray Manzarek.
They were all acid heads.
Watch The Conspiracy Zone Sundays at 9 p.m., 8 Central.
I really don't know. Maybe this way.
Thank you. Thank you very much. You got any lettuce in my teeth? I think it's the other side. I'm not sure.
This is a Jewish Elvis.
How about the way he shook his hips? Can you do your hips?
That I can't do.
Welcome back, everybody. In the spirit of Elvis Presley, I've decided to give each member of our audience a Cadillac tonight. Except for this guy. He gets a Volkswagen. Okay. I'm going to see if I get some questions from our audience. Ma'am, would you like to ask a question? What is your name?
Alexandra.
Alexandra. Where are you from, Alexandra?
From New York.
From New York. Excellent. Do you have a question for our panelists?
Yes, I do have a question for James. Since you say that Elvis is alive or didn't die when he was supposed to have been dead, would he not have tried to stop a marriage between his daughter and Michael Jackson? Because, given that he did play around, he was known to be a very conservative man when it came to his family.
I don't know about that whole Lisa Marie thing. That was a whole nother conspiracy in itself. But I do have some kind of proof. I do have some kind of proof that Elvis was alive. And I brought some pictures. And
What do you got there, James? We got a picture of Dora?
Oh, see, that's Elvis right there. And 4 months after he had supposedly died, that was taken by a tourist. Now, you tell me
How do
what
we
that
know
looks
it's
like.
4 months after he died?
That's what they say, and I believe it.
Oh, okay, all right. That makes sense. Don, did that look like Elvis?
That's Jesse Pritchett. That's Elvis's cousin. He used to work on the grounds. He used to dress up someone like Elvis drives girls crazy. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. He was sitting there watching the fans. Yeah.
Right.
That's Jesse.
So that was Jesse, James. What is your name?
Jackie.
Jackie, what is your question?
Isn't it true that Elvis died because of his amphetamine and tranquilizer use? I would think that would be more, you know, that's contributed to...
Terry, that's up your alley.
Yeah.
What do you think?
What are you implying by that, Kevin?
Well, I just mean that you're an expert in that field.
I'm not an expert in that field.
Aren't you the amphetamine guy?
Huh? No.
Oh, maybe I'm thinking of...
Have you noticed my energy level flagging?
Yes.
Yeah.
I have noticed that.
Yeah.
From the outset.
Yeah, that would be because I'm not on amphetamines.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But absolutely.
Well, Don, could that be true?
Well, actually, you know, Elvis, you know, had a chemical dependency on prescription, medication, but it did not bring on a massive heart attack. You know, he played racquetball with his girlfriend and his cousins. It was very strenuous, you know, and it probably brought on a lot.
That'll always kill you.
All right, well, thank you, panel. That's all very interesting, but maybe you should consider this. Okay, Elvis's diet consisted of peanut butter and banana sandwiches, bacon cheeseburgers, deep-fried pork rinds, chicken fat smoked possum, Crisco-coated raccoon ribs, chocolate-covered lard dumplings, pure buttermilk shakes, and double cream corn. He died on the toilet. Coincidence or conspiracy? All right, that's it for another Conspiracy Zone. As always, if we've made one person just a little paranoid, we've done our job. Join us next week when we explore another mystery. If vampires can't be seen in mirrors, how come Dracula's hair is always so neat? I'd like to thank our panel, John Ridley, James Walters, Harry Shearer, and Don Wilson. I'm Kevin Nealon, and I take a different way home every night. See you.
The statements, opinions, and theories expressed on the Conspiracy Zone do not necessarily reflect those of TNN, our sponsors, or the people who forced us to read this.
You know, Elvis's favorite meal was a fried peanut butter and banana sandwich. What's the worst thing you've ever eaten?
Dirt.
Dirt?
Yeah.
Just alone or as a side dish?
Elephant trunk. Peas. There were 2 great big nostril holes right in the middle of the steak.
Raw octopus. And that went down pretty rough.
Corned beef on raisin bread with mustard.
My own vomit.
Oh, thank you very much.